Hello, and welcome to Scuttlebutt, the War Movie Review Podcast. We're happy to have you with us as we take a look at films from the dawn of cinema to today. We aim to provide a raw and unapologetic review of each film's cinematography, historical accuracy, and delivery. In the process of analysis, certain details will be revealed. These spoilers are only divulged to ensure a fair assessment of each film.
Happy Halloween! We jump into hell this week with J J Abrams' 2018 World War II horror epic, Overlord. As always, I'm joined by Mike A.
Hello.
Mike B.
Hello.
And Zombie Nate.
I didn't realize there was a J J Abrams movie that explains why there's no smoke monster around. So, you know, not still butthurt about that series almost 15 years later. But you know, whatever.
I'm lost on what you're talking about.
I don't know what are you referencing, dude?
No fucking clue what Nate's talking about. But
Some forgotten show or something that he produced?
Something that
much
once had
forgotten show.
What was it?
Lost.
Oh. What an ironic title.
The fucking series?
Yeah,
I guess he produced
he started the first season, and then I think first or second season, then he ran and did something else, and then
That's why it was dog shit after.
Yeah,
after
it took
he
like
left.
a big doo-doo dump. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct, but don't quote me on it.
And now here we are.
We won't. We won't trust.
Should have fucking dropped the Star Wars, but or he did drop the Star Wars, but he shouldn't have come back. I don't know. There we go. Anyway, off the rails already. Go ahead, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, fucking. So what'd you think, guys?
I'm back on the good mic setup, so now I'm talking a lot more. God forbid. The man with the lisp is still talking. Go ahead.
All right, then, penis. Why don't you tell us what you fucking? Why don't you tell us what you thought?
Nate, you have a lot of thoughts on this, so
Apparently.
you go first.
So.
I like this movie a lot, and apparently I'm in the minority. No, I mean it's. I mean, I'll just quickly dive into it. I mean I'm not a big horror fan at all. Like, I absolutely despise horror movies. Like, I kind of avoid them like the plague. But I kind of have always gravitated to this movie due to its theme of Nazi zombies and being, the height of, COD zombie gameplay for Xbox and everything. It's like, that's what I like. I like that. And it's a good mixture of horror and everything and, the time period that we like. So it's a good, mixture of interest. I think the problem is that we've been kind of traumatized by terrible horror World War II movies, and most horror war movies in general. That it's always kind of refreshing, at least to me, that even though this movie suffers from a few things, the narrative, modern times, etc. I still think it is very high in capturing like really good kind of like the aesthetic of Nazi zombies and all that kind of stuff, and it just feels really, really unique. And the flow is not crazy, all over the place. There's not some weird like plot twists and everything. It's like you can read it from a mile away and yet you'll still enjoy it. However, watching it again today, it did kind of age for me from the last time I've watched it, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it for, I guess, gun nerd and horror, or like very baby kindergarten horror movie. So anyway, that's how I feel about it. I really liked watching this movie. I like having it on, so it hit pretty good. I'll pass off to Mike A, though, because he sent me a message this afternoon that was not like that, but I said, give it time, it will grow on you. It's not like, it's not Master and Commander, but it's...
Listen, I knew it wasn't that going into it. No, it's just funny that it's all the set of circumstances. Like today I was doing work, and then, I got off work, and then I was looking at some stuff. I bought some art supplies for a project that I'm doing in the future, and then I'm like, I could be working on this great project that might, help something historically and, with, further research and all that. and I'm watching this fucking movie.
You did open your whole entire grievance with that quote, which was, I could be making like very, very like important art, and you're distracting me with
It's
World War
typical
II
Mike
horror
A.
movie.
guilt trip bullshit that we all have to endure.
Yes,
And,
I can't help it that my I'm so important apparently. No,
Well, it's like let's just frame this for people, because again, something I've learned in this podcast is you have to conceptualize things. So everyone here, I think, has seen The Big Lebowski, including most of our audience. So the painting sequence, where Mike straps himself up into a harness and puts on some music and just
butt-ass naked and flies around the room.
That's going to be WN62.
Then
we
he
pulled him
asks
out
you-
of his dream.
And he asks you if the word vagina bothers you.
Vagina.
Hiya.
Oh yeah, I love his response.
Hiya.
Oh, Nate,
Hiya.
Nate, you took it to the fucking degree that did not need to be.
They do that in this.
I know!
Jackass.
Fuckstick! I've fucking seen the film a million times.
I'm putting him in the moment. I want him to think about swinging across the room. It's fine.
Just play the scene. But
Link in description.
yeah.
Curtains match.
Link in the bio. Link in the bio.
So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I had never seen this before today, and I knew going in it was going to be like, okay, just throw history aside. Like, I know it's not that. I think if I had seen this like with all of you, if we were like having a late night hangout like how we did, a few months back, and we had this on, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But I watched it by myself in the middle of the daytime, and it was like, okay, yeah, I see what's going on here, whatever. But I don't know, it was okay. I thought the best elements of it were the cinematography. I thought they made the look of it was really cool. It made all of the World War II shit that you love look really cool. That's what I thought. And it's unshamedly World War II porn when it comes to that. I mean, like the immediately when we get into combat, you have paratroopers and SS with Sturmgewehr. It's like it's all that imagery that everyone loves. All that shit. SS insignia, Sturmgewehr, Stahlhelm, paratrooper, and stuff like that. It's like all that stuff that everyone loves to look at. And so yeah, I got it, and it was like, okay, and I just kind of enjoyed it for what it was, and it was, just some fun, some dumb fun.
and I think I said to you, it could be worse. We could have done like Nazis at the center of the earth.
I have not seen that yet, so
Nerf guns are the guns, and that's what you see. And
really,
oh yeah, it could be a lot worse,
right? But yeah, so I mean, I was just laughing at a lot of stuff, honestly, because I'm just in my mind thinking about the reality of everything versus what this is, and like the whole time. Okay, so this apparently is supposed to be D-Day, right? The D-Day, not just the which one I'm talking about. The title of the fucking movie, and
you mean Paolu D-Day, right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
Tarawa. It's Tarawa. Or no, this is Normandy.
This is Iwo Jima D-Day.
Okay.
How many
Black
D-Days
sand.
were there?
I should have seen the black sand everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine Japanese zombies. It's just like this movie,
Eventually.
but like on Iwo Jima.
Yeah. You gotta buy it with
the
the DLC though. That's the only way you get it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But I was just laughing at a lot of it because it's like, okay, the invasion is happening, like, and this guy is, I need to go, screw this rape, basically, this French woman, and then the scientist doing his. It's like, there's an invasion happening. Like, all you guys don't even think about this. Like, that's what I was thinking about the whole time. Like, sorry, but your weird Wolfenstein experiments should be the last thing you're thinking about when there's a huge fucking invasion going on, and they're just like still performing their experiments, like whatever. But it's a big dumb movie, so who cares?
Brian, why don't you launch into your intro? Sorry, that got a little we jumped the gun a little bit. But
Oh, sorry, I just kept going. Yeah. So. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
This is the first time I've seen this movie, and it's I don't know. I've always avoided it because of multiple things, i.e., the trailer. But
Yep.
in the last few years, I've been getting more into horror films and just watching films, having opinions of them. So finally sat down and watched it, and it's interesting. I've seen a few other war horror films. I mean, obviously last year we did Death Watch, which is a World War I horror film. It was interesting, from the subject and stuff. The Keep is another World War II horror film from the 80s. It's actually interesting. It's about these German soldiers that commit a massacre in like a Greek village, and then they awaken some old evil that kills all of them. And it's very 80s. It's very sci-fi. It's like this with 1/10 of the production budget, but they're all Nazis. And by the way, like the evil spirit is like a knight that's like glowing blue. It's we almost did that. Thank God we didn't.
Sounds amazing.
Next year, yeah, right. But no, this is an interesting movie. The first 10 minutes is really hard to get to if you know anything about World War II. But once you get through that, then it's really hard not to watch. It's interesting, there's some things I really didn't like about it. There's other things I really did like about it, and we'll get into that in a bit. But the one thing I can say with certainty is that this is the best war horror film ever made, solely based on its production value.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is shit. I mean, it's mostly because most horror films are cheap because they're cheap to shoot. Well, in quotes, but it's an interesting movie, and I think it gets a bad rap because people look at it at face value. But if you sit down, like Michael said, and just sit with some friends or just whatever, it's worth a watch. And it was, for what it is, it's good. So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Brian. It's like, it was rough for the first few minutes. It really was. And I'm like, oh God, another fucking waste of time. But actually, like, when you go into it, no, that's not, it's not like a historical film. Like, right, that you have to understand that. And if you go into it with that mindset, it's actually kind of fun, And again, the production value, like Brian said, pretty good. Even like the technical shit that I could point out was not terrible past the first like 15, 20 minutes, And it was fun, and I think this film is supposed to be fun. It's a horror. Okay, it's a horror film. It's not a horror film. You're rubbing off on me, Brian. I don't like that.
Oh my God.
Because you always say it's a horror film, and I'm like, no, it's a horror film.
Tomato.
Yeah, who's correct in this one?
I am.
Oh yeah, Mr. New England fucking rules everything.
No. Okay, listen. We can both agree to this. This is a word with a lot of O's. So let's go to our O man, Nathan. Please say horror for us.
Horror.
One more time.
Okay, so he says it like I said, horror. Oh
Horror.
No, Jesus Christ! It's exactly halfway in between Brian's bullshit.
Yep.
Oh
I
my
would have
God!
known that it would happen.
HAUR.
Michael,
Let me not think about. Hold on. Let me not.
No, hold on, Michael.
Yes.
Really quick.
Horror.
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 That's how I say
That's
it. That's how I say it. Yeah.
It's horror.
Horror film.
Wow, it's getting weirder as I go. Jesus Christ.
It's
just say it.
You're saying
Like,
it too
okay,
many
I
times.
just-
It's a horror film. Horror film.
Yeah, so
horror
you
film.
you are exactly halfway in between Michael and I, who are from the western part of the United States in general.
That's
So we
funny.
see a horror film.
I like it has lots of O's in it. Let's pass it to the Marylander. And as I said O's, I just
No, but
realized I said it really
you literally
badly.
said it exactly in between. That's funny as shit. I love
Speaking
that.
of
It's
horror,
funny.
Brian, are you in hell now? What the hell? You're like really red. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
After my night cam on.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, I don't.
We did
I don't mind. I just never have seen it before.
We did jump into hell, so.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell happened there?
Yeah. Oh, what the hell happened there? Huh?
the-
Funny pun.
That was accidental.
Fucking
I
clown.
guess to jump into it because
But
I
Mike
was
hasn't
cu-
gone yet.
no, he did. I thought he did.
Well, I okay. I'll finish it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, we got distracted. with
It's
horror.
a fun picture. I'm about to tear apart certain historical things, but overall, as far as a film, like a horror film, that's where I got caught up on.
Sorry. Yeah, you're
As
right.
far as a horror film is concerned, I didn't hate it. So, okay, go ahead,
It's
Nate.
well, it's an odd. It is a very odd thing. I feel like I'm in this weird like because it's hard. Like I feel the same way with Death Watch. It's like it's not real, but how do you
Correct.
how do you obviously
Quantify all
the
this
Germans
shit,
yeah, obviously the Germans didn't make zombie soldiers, at least that we know of. Way to
Well,
go.
they
they
that's
blew
a
it up.
conversation we'll get
Yeah.
into. We'll get into. They tried, but like, yeah.
But like that's I'm sure there is, like going into it, it's hard because you have to turn off your brain
Yes.
for what it is. And it's hard to not judge it the same way we judge everything else. And that's half the fun with when we do the Halloween. I mean, it's the second year we've been doing it. And I feel
with
the
Death
same,
Watch, it was like we did the same thing. We turned off our brain and like just kind of analyzed it, and then
right in terms of
yeah.
in terms of what would be correct for the time period.
Yep.
So
Yep.
jumping into that, the things that I can talk about that I have a lot of knowledge on, that I can confidently say, the 34 was a little slow, but the best representation of a 34 I've seen in a very long time. And the STG 44s were great. I mean, fantastic. And the Thompson, run by I can't remember his name, but it's
Wyatt.
What's
his?
it's the son of Kurt Russell. Wyatt
Yeah,
Russell.
Wyatt Russell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell.
That Thompson, it would go in and out of perfect firing rate, but for the most part, I love it. It's awesome. You see,
It's also an
actual
M1
representation.
Thompson,
Yes, so
which
it
is
has
really
a-
fucking cool.
Yeah, and again, like the whole particle hits, like talking as a cinematographer, it's like all the squibs going off on the ground and the dirt and everything like that. Like most of that's practical. It's really well timed, tasteful. When I say this, and I say this as best I can for tasteful, but tasteful injuries, like actually impactful injuries and things. With it being a horror movie, it's like you gotta be somewhat accurate. I feel like it's like you have the skills, definitely have the skills for people to nail it accurately, so why not,
Everyone's getting shot in the head.
Exactly. Yeah. The one thing I will say, and I'm surprised that Mike B didn't notice it, but maybe he did, and actually you, Mike A, is the eagles on the shoulders and the uniforms are not correct at all.
They're not the SS ones.
No, they're not
No,
correct
they're-
at all.
I
They
didn't
don't
see
have
that.
any They don't have the swastika on
No, it's
the
that.
emblem at all.
And no, okay. So again, you didn't notice this? We're fucking like fresh into this fucking review.
I know. I'm just
We're not even there yet, Nate.
Okay,
What
did
the
you notice
fuck?
it then? Okay, there's
Yes.
my question.
No, I did, because here's the thing: is they have to do that if they're gonna be able to screen this in a lot of countries.
Yes, I know.
And so,
I know. It's but
no.
but
also, they were there. If you look in certain like light and everything, they're darkened.
well, the thing is I think that's really good because a lot of films, and the reason why I was going to jump into it and right off the bat is that a lot of films, when they just don't blatantly have it because they want to get into Germany or whatever, it's like, they just they don't even have them, or they do them really badly. These are really well done without having that little detail, and I think it took me several rewatches over the years to even realize that. So I'm not, I'm not like hounding them for it. I think it's very well
they're
done.
there.
Yeah,
I'm serious. They're there. If you look at them in a few shots, because I was noticing that too, and I'm like, okay, so it's like the ones you get from fucking India and Pakistan or whatever.
Right,
but they're like the bullion ones, or like that, not the bullion, the just the regular eagles. But they darken the swastika. They're there, but they're not visible for like 99% of it.
right.
And it's like, okay, and also, so that guy would have been SD, right? I forgot the fucking German word. They created like this weird patch that they wore on their lower left arm. Below that, they created a weird patch that didn't have the SD insignia on there. Also, probably to be able to be screened in these countries.
Right, yeah.
Because there's a patch that I've never seen before at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it existed, or maybe they just made up their own. But like, yeah, because like the SD is basically responsible for like rounding up Jews and political enemies and everybody who's an enemy of the state at that point, right?
Right.
And they would have worn the SD patch, like you see in Inglourious Bastards, right? He wore an SD patch down here on his left thing. But this film had them wear this like weird patch, and I don't know.
And
so
well, it's just like, again, I think it comes down to I feel like you need to know this stuff to actually kind of hide those things, like without it being so fairly obvious. And this is very, very like detail oriented to talk right now. But like let's just tie it to like other movies that we've gone over, like where they just don't even have anything because they want to have that, and that's fine. But it's like, for us, and we can't turn off our brains with this stuff. It's like, that's what we want to see. We want to be put in, because it's those details that matter for us to be placed into a world. And I think you know, the whole setting of the film, the whole aesthetic of the film, does a really good job to place it in that time period, in that setting. Because if you don't, if it's obviously like, and I'm going to make something up, let's just say like they were using, well, let's use the last movie we did, Field of Honor. Let's say like, you know, we're trying to do Korea, but we all are wearing Vietnam flak jackets. Like to a person who doesn't know dick from tat, it's like, okay, fine. But it's like, for us, that takes us out of it. And so the fact that, you know, you're taking a fantasy, you know, story and trying to input it into a world of that is part of our history. I think it does a really good job of taking those details and altering them to fit the things that they need to get done to get what they need to do. And that's my point.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so like that's what I think is really interesting about the movie. And I think like it's really cool that they're able to have, like, if we talk about the gun stuff, it's like STG 44s instead of fucking
MP40s.
What did Brian say the Soviets used? Like would they do the Soviets took STG 44s and made them into M16s or something. Wasn't that what you said? Yeah. Like
That was the thing in the Cold War.
At least it wasn't something like that where it's like they had some kind of like STG 58 or some abomination that like that, like for STG 44. So that was just really cool. I mean, that's just me rambling about those details, but like I think it's really, really relevant for a film like this to be that particular, to keep it in that. Now, I want to stay away from like modern talk, like and all that other, like, or modern filmmaking in that sense, and decisions were made on casting characters, and that's fine. I want to stay away from that just with this, but like other than that, it's like, because I know that history and I know that wouldn't be the thing. It's like that was, other than that, I think they pretty much nail it. At least it's not My Way, where the Airborne's dropping on the beach. You know, like
that one's actually a much worse depiction of D-Day than this is.
Yeah. Brian, go ahead.
I got My Way vibes in the beginning. There's
a little bit of
hardcore My Way vibes. C-47 delivering paratroopers to Normandy in the daylight. Hardcore fucking. Now, when the planes took off, the sun was setting. That was true because it was double overtime war or whatever. So the sun set at 9:30 or 10:30 at night.
But it's not daylight.
That was true. No, it's not. You not stare at shit. By the time they got to the coast of England, it was fucking pitch black. Yeah, you know, that's just such a fallacy.
None of the ships are in formation either. They're just all
randomly, and they're all like battleships and shit. And it's like, oh, look at the cool stuff. It's like it should be rows of fucking LCIs, and like LSTs.
The common theme from what I'm hearing from all you is like you all said, and I told Mike A this, like, just wait. It will filter itself out. Like
I was having to remind myself of that when I was like, wait a minute, this is a stupid like sci-fi movie or something. Like, wait. Yeah.
It's a horror movie, yeah.
My biggest gripe with the whole thing, this will make Mike B laugh, is that they jump into France with M1 Garands, not in Griswold bags, and just on them.
I was thinking of that too.
Like,
they're just like having between
now,
their legs.
He's not laughing. He's just dying inside.
There was a thing. During the war, you'd have to take apart your M1 and you put it in a Griswold bag, which was this bag that would go off your leg that you could put an M1 in. It was broken into 3 parts: the fire or the trigger group, the barreled action, and the stock. Guys learned the 82nd 1st in Sicily because they had a really bad drop on fucking Gala
that you can jump into combat with firearms, but you have to break them up. So some guys, and they actually talk about this in Band of Brothers, they would put their rifles into their jumpsuits or what do you call it? Parachutes a certain way where you could jump with it and then quickly put it together.
That's what I usually see.
But yeah, but just holding stuff is like
It's because
and
Brian,
the BAR.
Brian
No,
is-
I know what it is. But like on top of that, the BAR with an Airborne man is just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
There were some guys that had BARs in paratroopers,
Yeah.
but they didn't jump into fucking France with them. They got them off dead troops.
It's
like,
because it's because the
no, I know,
the paratrooper kits they got for the movie didn't come with those. So
but it's just that was my biggest pet peeve. It's like you can't jump out of a plane holding a rifle. That's
right,
like,
they were just like, who gives a shit?
yeah, obviously they're fighting fucking Nazi zombies and shit, and whatever. But that's like the biggest fucking historical problem in my opinion.
Well, and so okay, that and so we'll talk about the weapons first, and I'm gonna talk about one other thing that you may have missed. There were guys that I've seen that get loaded onto C-47s in D-Day or before D-Day, and they've got their fucking rifles slung around their equipment in a certain way where it's like they've got like a strap over the sling, so it's gonna fucking be there. Okay, they're gonna jump in with the whole thing. The muzzle might get a shitload of dirt in it. Who gives a fuck, right? Thompsons, fucking carbines. A lot of the times they had the pouches for them on their leg.
A leg bag. Yep.
Yep, exactly. And so not the leg bag, but like that actual like holster.
like a
thing.
holster.
Oh, it's a scabbard if you want to be technical.
A scabbard, yeah,
Yeah.
correct. And so, but like, because they had the folding stock and everything, so it was small. Guys with M1s sometimes would drop into zones with their shit slung and put on their gear in a way that they would be able to make the jump and still use both their fucking hands and have their rifle, right? That was not shown at all in this. And also, in the Normandy jumps, they had, where the fuck is it?
Don't hit your mic this time.
These fucking chin cups, the leather ones. They did not have the Vietnam, like, the late World War II ones were khaki, so these were Vietnam ones that they had in the film. They had the fucking separated, like, canvas fucking chin
Right.
straps on these guys. No, it would have been this at Normandy. Guaranteed.
I don't think any of them had scrim on their helmets either, did they?
I only
Well,
remember nets.
that's not as big of an issue.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm just
yes,
thinking about it now.
also they would have the Airborne guys definitely would have done this shit. So those chin straps they were using, and I'll let you go, Brian. But like the chin straps they were using in this film were Vietnam era like fucking M1C chin straps, and that's totally not accurate for Normandy at all. So go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, later in the war, they had the cotton chin straps, like you're mentioning, and they were 4-hole and they were 5-hole. 4-hole was the correct one that they used at varsity, and 5-hole is the immediately post-war one that's like the Vietnam era.
And they were both OD. They were OD7. I'm
3.
sorry, OD2.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yep,
Yep.
they're OD2. Yeah, because they were a lot lighter
3.
color. But like it was so late at Normandy, they didn't have that fucking concept, and it was like.
So some paratroopers, because it's funny, it comes down to combat experience. The guys that were in Sicily, 82nd Airborne, and in Italy,
Yeah.
505th mostly, some of those guys cut holes in their fucking leather chin cups because it fit better. There were certain little modifications that were done. And what's funny, to add to that, 101st was a new division.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't see fucking shit. So none of those guys would have done any of those little nuances of, because you're stateside and you're jumping into Europe. And lastly, so about the scrim thing, scrim is funny. Scrim and paratrooper helmet markings go down to like battalion level usually. And what's really funny is that the 2nd Battalion of the 506, the battalion that Easy Company was part of, there's no photos of them that exist of them wearing the spades on their helmets in Normandy or scrim. The 2nd Battalion just didn't do it, whatever reason. Because we have all the photos of them getting on the C-47s. So, like, it's very particular. The 508th was known to have crazy amounts of scrim and even, like, self-modified helmets with mess kits and D-rings and stuff, crazy stuff. The 505th was known to have a little bit of scrim or no scrim at all. And then, I forget,
The 507th was known to have a ton of the luminous discs in the back.
Yep,
So like
yep,
it's
yep.
just
And the
each one is
Pathfinders
a
as well.
little
Yep.
yeah. So each one is a little different, but it's very specific. Like you just have to have the photos. And luckily, like I said, there were photographers at every single airfield. So we have photos of the sticks, we have photos of the guys, we have all that. But that was something that Band of Brothers actually got wrong. The spade and the
Well,
scrim.
it's kind of
So-
like the thing that, like, To Hell and Back got wrong. The film is that
Oh yeah, the
their third
decals.
ID didn't start. They didn't start marking their helmets until after Anzio.
at Anzio. There's documentation they did it before
No,
Anzio.
no, I know,
for
but
the-
like
for the
okay,
march to Rome.
Well, not in Salerno though.
Salerno's Anzio's after Salerno.
And yeah, so Salerno
September
is,
43
I'm
to
aware, but,
January
like,
44.
I know, but like before Anzio,
First iterations of helmet markings in the Mediterranean start at Anzio with the Rangers and with the 3rd Infantry Division. The Rangers had battalions use different letter markings on the back of their helmets or the camouflage things they
dude,
used.
Salerno
and then-
actually the 36th was one of the first.
Well, 36 is different. I should have rephrased what I said, but as far as like on
But
a
you know what I mean?
very,
Like,
very
it's-
big
yeah.
scale, yeah. And the 3rd ID is hard
Yeah,
because there's 4 or 5 different variations.
Yeah,
that
and
get
the,
bigger
yeah, it's,
during
they
the
get
war.
yeah,
So-
exactly. And like the 36th at Salerno actually started painting fucking the decals on
The
them,
30,
right?
the 34th also did it a lot too.
On the front of the helmet. Yep. And and that was the thing, but like it wasn't a really widespread thing. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, now the 3rd, when we go to Anzio, that we're gonna do these, and then we're gonna have spades on the back of our helmets, or the bars, the invasion bars, whatever that we see in like all these films. And
Asian bars. I don't know what you're talking about.
the vertical ones for officers and the horizontal ones for NCOs.
That's not invasion. That's just standard. It's nothing to do with an invasion. Nothing to do with.
Must have different sources then, because
Oh, that has nothing to do with an invasion. That was done all the time. Mostly it was done by tape. And there was a regulation bigger early in the war. It was larger, and then later in the war they made it slimmer. They cut it like by a third. So no, that's just a NCO thing, and that was just not done or done depending on combat experience in your unit. Most of the time it was done with tape, medical tape, but that and all my research has nothing to do with invasion. It's pre-torch. It was the practice that was just done, and that or not done because of replacements and just a million different reasons. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I said. Our research might be different. So yeah, I mean, but anyway, in this film, they had fucking 2nd Battalion, 506th, Easy Company. They had the fucking dot or the rectangle underneath the fucking spade. And here's the thing too, that fucking whole like when they're flying in to Normandy, that was almost directly ripped off from episode 2 to Band Brothers.
oh yeah.
It was almost directly ripped off.
Well, that's
Go ahead.
are we talking about the movie again? Sorry, I just jumped back in.
Yeah, we're talking about the movie, yeah.
So
Yeah.
1 second, Brian. But well, that was one thing I said
Yeah.
to Nate when I was watching it. I said, oh, they were like, Flash, Thunder, Kurahi, and I'm just like, oh, it's a good thing they watched Band of Brothers for research.
Yep. Yep.
to jump on Mike's point, dude, the one thing I didn't like about this movie was how unoriginal it was. It's so
Yep.
many points. Like, it's just J J Abrams watched Band of Brothers and watched SPR and was like,
That's
the fucking water
Exactly,
scene,
exactly.
the jump scene, like the fucking guy dying.
that's what
like, it's
David
just-
Ayer did for Fury. It's just it's just all that shit.
I didn't feel that though when I watched
We'll
it.
get
Talk
into that
shit
one
about
later,
that.
but,
You don't ever talk shit about that movie. You leave that
Whoa.
movie alone.
We'll
You leave
get
that
to it,
movie
but-
alone.
Man, I struck a nerve. But
David Ayer more like soft because I have friends around production. He more like saw like look at this cool photo and made it like in
yeah,
the
I know
film.
the start with the
Versus-
SS guy with his face. Yeah, and,
Look,
Or like when
I
he
have
said-
my problems with Fury, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's all.
But this one just seems more like that scene is gonna be in my movie, and like, with a little bit of differences, like it's that fucking scene,
I was gonna say back to the jump. Let's talk about
okay,
that
all right.
and how it was directly ripped off from fucking Band of Brothers.
It's ripped off from Band of Brothers, but it also is heavily inspired by like Medal of Honor Allied Assault, where it's all one take going
Which
down.
was which was
Also Band of Brothers, yes, I know, but they kept it all in one take, and it's like I'm getting serious like Medal of Honor Airborne vibes from this, like that doing that whole
That's an amazing game, even if it sucks.
dude. It sucks, and I love it.
It sucks, but it's
Oh yeah,
so
I played
much.
it. It's fun as
But
fuck.
it's so much
Yeah.
fun, and it was such a. And we'll get back to the movie in 1 sec. But that mechanic of being able to jump anywhere, you want
anywhere,
on the map and do that, and oh my god!
I don't think there are
I just
any more.
replayed that. I just replayed that like 3 months ago.
It has the most satisfying headshots of any game I've ever played.
because the helmet goes thunk.
Ka-think, and you get the little
Yeah.
like that mark that says
The little
you know.
emblem to show that
Yeah.
you're.
I guess
you're
you
a
never played
badass.
Sniper Elite.
I haven't
Yeah.
actually, but
I have.
Oh,
and
You need
There's
to
some
play
great
that, Mike.
headshots,
Yeah,
yeah.
you got to go for the double testicle on the sides. That's
I've
what you
heard
gotta
about
go
that
for.
though. I've seen
The
videos
Nutcracker.
of it before. That's never mind. That's
That was
It's like
a meme.
2 water balloons in your pocket. You know. It's
yeah,
just- yeah.
gross.
Mike loves Nutcracker videos.
Yeah.
Going back to the jump, yeah, that's what I was getting vibes of. I'm like, yeah, okay, B.O.B. and a little MOH in here. Yeah, I can see the influence. I don't know if I can call it a horror movie, because I was never scared. There's like one jump scare in it that isn't even that great to begin with, and I'm like, there was nothing scary or creepy in it to me anyway. You know, like
Well, that's just the telltale sign of a psychopath, Mike. So just
it's all normal
FYI.
to me. It doesn't phase me at all.
Why are you bleeding?
Yeah.
Wait, why does he Dexter on
I was
your
just
name?
curious the whole time about what these bodies would look like. You know, no, but
That's when that's
just wanted
isolated.
to fucking have them.
What's
Yeah.
Fucking have them to look at.
that's right.
What's everyone's favorite horror film?
The Thing. And I'm not a horror movie guy.
Yeah, I'm not a horror movie guy either. I mean, I've seen The Thing. I've seen clips of The Thing. I've never seen
Fuck
it.
you.
It's so good.
How have you not
I'm-
seen The Thing?
I'm a very
I haven't
big
seen a bridge too far.
baby.
The Thing. Are we friends? Like,
Well, The Thing is very impressive for all the prosthetic work and
It's also a
and
damn
the,
good
and
movie.
the, prac- and
One
the
of the best.
practical, but I've never seen it on that thing. I'll throw it to Mike B while I think about it, because I know he's.
Well, I'm
probably
trying to
got a
think about
few.
it too. Like the one thing that comes to mind is like it's very cliche, but like again, I watched it as a kid and then I watched it when I was a little bit older, and it's the mind fuck part of it. It's not the like effects necessarily. Is the original Exorcist.
Oh, that movie fucked me up.
See, that's what a good
years.
horror movie does, though. It's not about like the jump scares. It's all about the mind fuck. You know, that's
It's
just like,
it's the fact that it's and I had some weird experiences when I was a kid that reminded me of that. and
Did you see they came out with one just recently, like this year?
or it sucked.
yeah, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
gay. It's gonna be
Well,
fucking retarded.
it's nostalgia movie making right now. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
of
they do.
course. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't come up with anything original because I don't want to get canceled, so I'm just gonna remake this. Yeah.
I'm thinking. I mean, I'm just thinking. I guess I'm the only one that's. I mean,
well, I haven't gone. but
Brian.
Once some more
Oh,
time.
go. I thought you said The Thing. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
said
was
The Thing's
me.
great.
Oh.
So I am not a horror guy originally, but I've respected it, and there's some really, really good horror films that like are just fucking really hard not to watch. I mean, the one everybody thinks of is Halloween. I mean, it's a really good film.
Which
for
one?
the original, 78.
Yeah,
That's
fucking
a
terrifying.
fucking great movie. The Exorcist I like, but it's too polished in a way. I'm really, really, I don't know. There's 3 horror films I love that I like. They're all are in the same era for me. The original Wicker Man, 1973, fucking amazing.
So have to watch that, yep.
Amazing. Please watch it. I just watched this recently, and I want to watch it again, and I want to watch it a third time because after I watched it, I said, "Fuck, what was that?" I watched the original Texas Chainsaw. It's one of the most raw,
fuck.
amazing.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that.
Oh, dude, please watch it. Please watch it.
Okay.
Please
I've
watch it.
never seen it.
Yeah.
Listen, I held off a long time, and I know why it had a culty thing, and I got like 20 minutes in, and I texted Nate. I'm just like, okay, I see why people like this. And then like,
Yeah, he
It's
did.
dude,
absolute
it hit me,
fuck.
and I was like, like the film ended, and I just looked at the screen and said, "Fuck!" Like, it was a trip, and oh my god! But the last one is The Thing because it's just like that's such a good movie. But for me, those 3 are just they're all late 70s, early 80s movies, all made in like the heyday of horror. But those are the ones that I just when I think of good horror, like if I can make something like that, then oh fuck yeah, I'm
Well,
quitting.
What I have heard about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and this also goes into The Thing, is that I have heard that I have heard again, I have not seen it, but I have heard that movie is a great example of where things are implied that makes your imagination think it's much worse than it really is. That I hear it's a great example of that, which is the powerful thing. And the thing is also the same way. It's like, even though the thing is extremely gory, but all of the things that make it scary is the unknown. You don't know who the thing, you don't know where it is, you don't know how it works and stuff like that, and that's what makes it terrifying, but and effective.
There are hours and hours and hours of discourse about who is a thing at the end of the thing.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
there's-
people still debate it to
yeah,
this day.
like there's and I believe that there was a lot of production problems because they were shooting on site in Antarctica. So Carpenter had a lot of time to be like, okay.
They shot it up in British Columbia.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. So,
Yeah,
but
they didn't actually shoot it.
I heard that they had a lot of trouble with production and just, weather and things, so that he had a lot of time to like really sink into the script and put it all together. But like all these,
all the interior stuff was done on a set at Universal, and then but all the exterior stuff, that's all on a set up in British Columbia, and it was like fucking awful. Their lenses would fog up and shit. Yeah,
I can only imagine. Fuck film, right, Nate?
right.
But
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, horror films like in general are. I think they're worse when it's because. I mean, like, okay, so here's the thing: is one of the other films that has always freaked me out is 30 Days of Night, right?
I don't know that one.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
I'm looking it up right now.
Nate, have you seen it?
I don't watch horror movies. No. My I'll tell you what my best horror movie is: Tucker Dale versus Evil. Like that's the limit of my fucking horror
Go
movies
fuck
right
yourself, you fuck.
That's
the
not a
best
real
fucking
horror.
horror
That's
movie
not a
ever.
real horror movie. So, like,
He fell headfirst into the wood chipper. Like it's just
So,
the best fucking movie ever. No,
so
I
you
don't
guys
have. I don't. I really
nobody's
don't
seen
have a
30
horror
Days
movie.
of Night.
I just looked it up. No, I have not. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
not. I'm kind of like with Nate.
God.
I'm not really a horror movie guy, so I don't really.
Me
catch-
either, like,
I
I-
catch
I
them
would-
too often.
I would have to. I would hate to say Overlord's probably my favorite horror movie. To be
I don't blame
brutally
you.
honest,
I don't
because-
blame you. Yeah.
because I literally am a full grown man chicken when it comes to horror movies. I don't like
No,
being
it's
startled.
fine.
I don't
Yeah.
have enjoyment watching a movie. When I want to watch a movie, I want to relax. I don't want to shit my brains out of my asshole because the Wolfman jumps in the screen for the 18th fucking
that
time.
day is long past, Nate. You've already shit your brains out of your ass fucking years ago.
Well, yeah.
Mike doesn't. On a
I
daily
the,
basis.
the last
I mean,
last
if we're
horror
being
movie
honest,
the last horror movie I ever saw was in the theaters was oh god, it's called like I think it was a remake of The Wolfman. It was that dude, it was Hugo Weaving as the hunter, and that guy looks like a goblin. Oh god. what's the
that
fuck
narrows
his
it
name?
down.
This sounds
The
terrible.
guy from the guy in it's not Del Toro, but it's the guy who has the name like Del Toro. It's that dude. Anyway, he's in that movie, and that movie just had jump scare after jump scare after jump scare, and I'm like, I fucking
Jump
never
scares
watched
do
horror
not make a
movie.
horror film.
No, it's
thank
annoying.
you, Mike.
And you
Thank
can watch, and you can see when it happens, like the moment it happens. Anyway, we're going on a tangent. My point is that I don't like horror movies, and so I'm very limited what I watch. And I think Overlord might be my favorite horror movie. I use quotation movie quotes, but I mean, if you wanted to like tell me if I could pick something that might really freak me out, like of our generation, I guess the Saw movies. But
Well, that's just straight
like
up gore
that's
and
just
mind
cash cow shit. Yeah,
It's
I
also
would
like
ha-
it's straight up like the most extreme
right
shit.
and. Yeah, and I think I would have to side with what you guys are saying, because all the examples of movies you guys are pulling as your favorites would be what I would consider a genuine horror movie in my eyes, like just reading a poster or reading a synopsis. It's like that's what I would pick, not Saw and Wolfman and Overlord and stuff. But yeah, that's my spiel. I'm a big man baby. I don't like that shit.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
But it's so fucking funny though, because my wife will say, she's like, well, you won't watch horror movies, but you watch people get blown up with like artillery and grenades and all that stuff.
It's different.
Fine. And I'm like, it's different.
Desensitization.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there is one other film we haven't mentioned here. I don't think any of you guys have seen it. I've seen parts, and I don't want to see it, but I'm gonna make everyone watch it eventually for this. Michael is the only person who might have heard of it. It's called Man Behind the Sun.
I have not heard of that.
I actually
Night-
have heard of that in film school, and but I never watched. We were gonna do it, and then I think something happened.
Oh,
Night-
this is the Japanese thing. Yeah.
Unit 731 movie, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Hong Kong movie from 1988
Okay, I have heard of
that's
this.
about the atrocities committed by Japanese Unit 731, which was the one that like gave people the plague to see if they could treat it. It's brutal.
Oh, isn't this like the one where they film like
So,
them being
they would-
frozen? They shatter their limbs. And
One
shit
test
like
they
that?
would do is to try to see how long people would survive outside if they were frozen, because the Japanese, it's kind of like what the Germans were doing in these really crazy experiments. They wanted to see like, freezing, whatever. So they would take people and they would like take them outside in the freezing cold Manchuria, and that's where the unit was based, and dip their arms in water and basically, tie them to posts. And they said that they would wait until they sounded like hardwood. They hit them with bats. And then they would do these tests where they would basically take people's arms and dip them in hot water to see if that would defrost them. And most of the time it would just fucking obviously just rip off all the flesh from your skeleton. And it's disgusting. And these things actually happened. It's a really fucked up movie. And it's the closest thing I could think of to like this, but it's real.
Yeah, because like in this one, because like when they were saying when that captain goes in there and he injects himself with the serum or whatever, and the doctor's like, "Oh, we have never tested this on the living," and he's like, "I don't give a fuck," and he injects himself with two things, and he's got like half his face is gone, but he's fine, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, like. And so with that, like I said earlier, the Nazis actually, yeah, they were working on creating a quote unquote super soldier. And Pervitin, they had that, but that was just to keep you awake and everything. But they were actually legitimately trying to create a soldier who could not feel pain at all, and unless they were hitting like their vitals, would be able to keep going. So they didn't have to be medical attention if they were hit anywhere else. It's like, oh, let's just keep going. They didn't think it through, of course, because they're fucking retards. But like, the concept was there, and they literally experimented on a ton of people, Germans, non-Germans. They were like, oh, are different people from different areas like more susceptible to this shit? Most of them died, but they were trying to do it. That was their goal, is like create like what they were saying in this film is like, if it's going to be 1,000-year Reich, we need soldiers who can fight. And they came close with like this really fucking, again, it's my research, it's not fucking fact, so just disclaimer there. They came close to like a super meth, where it would just numb the soldier or the person to non-vital hits, and they could just keep going. And so even the fact that they had that concept is really fucked up. And that's why I kind of like that they showed it in this film. Because that is true horror, is like, if you've got soldiers that are just brainwashed doing your bidding for you and they can't feel pain, even if they are hitting the vitals and they just go until they're literally dead, their body's dead, they can do so much more damage to you. Like, it's not good. And so, yeah, that was kind of a fucked up aspect of this film that I actually did enjoy. The weaponry was okay. Wasn't bad. A lot of like plastic props, but whatever. Tactically, I won't get into that. Like, why are you gonna have a fucking guy with an O3 or A4 with a fucking scope? Like,
Snipers are great at night. Especially when you're 20 feet away with a 4 times magnifying fucking
You
scope
gotta
looking
have
down.
that sniper character though.
Is that not 3.5?
I think it's 4. I'd have to look at mine. I'm pretty sure it's 4.
It might be 3.5 or 4. It's not that much. It's not
the M6.
It's not much.
It's not much at all.
It's a piece of shit. It was a Redfield. So we're talking about the O3A4 sniper rifle in the movie.
Yeah,
and
correct.
it was a commercial scope that they bought off the market with a commercial mount because
they wanted to quickly make sniper rifles, and they didn't really have a sniping program. They had the 03A3, which was this great platform to do it. You know, it's this rear-sighted 03. It's cheaper to make than a ladder-sighted.
Yep, take the front sight off and then let's go.
Yeah, so they took the front sights off, and they bought this literally fucking Redfield scope out of a fucking sports, you know, like
Sears catalog.
Yeah, Sears catalog, had them contracted by Redfield to make government ones, and then wham bam, thank you ma'am, here's a sniper rifle. And they suck. They fucking suck shit. I hate my A4.
They're terrible.
They're horrible guns. They have horrible sights. Like, they're just really bad, but they look really cool. So I got to give it that. And but they're just not good sniper rifles. They're of all the sniper rifles made during the war, that's probably the worst. But, you know,
Well, I was talking to Henry, you know, yesterday, and we were talking about like the 03A4.
9 whole reviews.
Yeah.
Nine whole reviews, Henry.
And so we were talking about that, and he's like, "Were a lot of those used?" And I'm like, "For a very short time, yes." And most of the guys just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get myself an M1."
They show up. There's no memoir at all from an American World War II sniper. I've seen some interviews. Like, there's one where like they give a guy like a rifle and they take him to a range. He's like 85, and he goes, "I shot this in the war." And then it's like, "Well, where were you? What did you do?" You know, there was no snipers in the military, in the U.S. military. It was marksmen. So it's this very strange. Like, it's like a guy that might have above average, like, you know, shooting skill with a really horrible sniper rifle.
Horrible platform.
Yeah.
But like from what I've heard from things that I've read from the guys that were there, they said, yeah, we just usually ditch the optics and just trade it, or like we just fucking picked up an M1 because we could do better shooting with an M1 without an optic than we could with that piece of shit.
It is.
And it's like, fuck.
It is interesting because some units early in the war, as I know, especially the 2nd Arbor Division, made their own sniper rifles. They took 03s and they took scopes and they fucking just made them. And those were great because they had 8-power scopes and just.
Yeah, have you ever seen the fucking there's very, very fucking few of them. You ever seen the fucking 03A4s that had like ZF42s on them?
No. I know later in the
Like
war they used to put the M1C scopes on them, the M84s.
Yeah, the side mount, yeah.
Yep.
But like there's some guys, like, again, very few, like again, I always looked at these pictures back in the day when I was like in my early 20s, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. I never saved them because I'm like, oh, they'll always be here. But it's like, okay, well, the internet's so fucking vast, I can't just recall it immediately. But no, there was some guys that put like a fucking ZF42 or whatever the hell scope in the they got like some, or they just replaced the mounts. I don't know what the fuck they did. But so you see these German scopes, these Zeiss optics, on these 03A4s.
Are they the later war small ones, or are you talking about ZF39s?
39. Sorry, the 42 is the very small,
41.
like long eye relief.
40. Yeah, because
My bad. I fucked that up. Yeah,
I was trying to remember. I was like, what? What 42?
Yeah, so it's
is
a
that?
39, the big fucker. Yeah. The 42.
The 4-power.
Because there's a 39 4x, there's a 39 6x, and there's a 39 8x.
Right, and it's whatever they could find. They would find them on German soldiers, and they would fucking just take these optics and like, hey, can we retrofit this bitch? I know there's a chode, yeah.
Oh, you bastard! I know what you're gonna go do. You're gonna go get mine. You're welcome. You fucking chode. Fucking yeah. So. Yeah, well, that's what I get for leaving it there and you building it. So there you go. He's getting my my Ed Harris chode clone.
Ed Harris.
My from Enemy at the Gates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a ZF. It's a ZF39.
8x.
It's an 8x. Yeah.
Yeah, just the big fucker. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the big fucking thing. It's like it's
the
like that big.
Is that a high or a low turret?
High turret. It can be on an LSR.
I know.
There are a couple evidences of that, but it's mainly a high turret and an LSR.
Yeah.
It won't fit. I don't think it'll fit God damn, that thing is so fucking big.
So fucking stupid. And then here's a World War I scope, but it's comparable to a 4-power CF39.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It's a little longer than the normal ones, but you can tell like how much bigger the.
Yeah, that fucking thing is like, and it's also got this shitty European 3-post fucking
huge.
Oh, I hate that reticle.
Yeah, I can see
I
myself
hate
in
that
it.
reticle so much.
Yeah, I can see it over there. That's funny.
Bam.
Yeah. No, I love that. I can't wait to get that one done.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
staring.
that'll be a
at it.
good one.
I don't know why you guys are, talking shit about the sniper in this. I mean, he was able to hit everyone in the head every time he fired.
Well, even
Well, hold on.
What?
He does have a tiny ass fucking scope. So it's a lot easier to do than a 4x.
Yeah.
So that that Red Ryder fucking cheap American scope lets him see the whole body even at 25 yards. No
True.
difference than it would be if an iron sight. But
I
I agree.
That's actually a fair point.
it's such a piece of shit.
Well, Mike, you fucked around with Brian's 03A4 when we were in Ohio, right? I'm pretty sure you did.
Such a
right?
piece of shit.
I looked at it once. I didn't.
It was
do
like
much
White
with
Claw
it.
number 17, so I don't think he remembers, but it doesn't fit in the rifle.
Guilty, yeah. But no, I thought I remember Maxwell thought it was fucking cool, but I remember I think I picked it up once and I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool, or something like that.
Yeah, I was looking like across the lake, like we had that little we had the one little shot across the lake, and I was looking through and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is 100 yards tops. Maybe you can hit something with
And
this.
Michael's totally lying. What Michael did was he looked at the rifle and was like, oh, this is cool. And next time I saw him, he was crawling up to this rubble in France, and he took the scope off somehow, and it took an 8-power
he put a
Unertl
bigger
scope,
one on.
and then he just clicked it on, and then
Yeah.
he
Shot
shot
it
it
right
with
through a
sniper.
German scope.
Yeah, just right through all the really good optics. Yeah,
And he went, holy shit, there are MG42s in Omaha
Yeah.
Beach. Oh my god.
My greatest accomplishment.
it was amazing to see. Yeah, wait till you see it in the dock. So
Really cool.
Luckily,
really
Coop was
cool
there.
Stuff.
It turned out Dutchmen were behind them all too.
Oh,
and it's a
God.
Dutch shot as well. So it's very Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your service, Mike. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome, man. You guys got a lot of ammunition for me.
We always have ammunition for everyone.
I know, yeah.
I'm just trying to deflect off of me.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I mean,
That's funny.
so the 03A4 in this thing, okay, it's Normandy, but I mean, let's be realistic.
It's a Jackson ripoff.
Exactly.
Like you guys said in the beginning. I mean, what does every single Normandy fresh off the boat D-Day movie tend to do if they're not following they're gonna always have that. Now, not always, some people have broken away from that mold, but for the most part, if there's a lone squad trapped behind, what is there always going to be? A sniper.
Yep.
At least. And it's annoying, but this character, at least it wasn't like
Well, the character
gadgets
himself,
and everything like that.
he was a fucking typical, the quintessential "Hi, bitch, voice, New Yorker." The annoying
it was
fuck.
it was the
annoying
pusher
after a
because
while.
It was the push. Exactly.
it's the pusher. You push, you go and talk
I'm
like
the
a
pusher.
toddler. You gotta talk like a toddler, and that's the only way you can fucking talk.
Jesus Christ.
He didn't talk about his thumb giving him
Toddler.
balance, but yeah.
My thumb gives me balance.
Me balance.
My thumb gives me balance.
Even the
Someone
I don't know
conversation.
why. I don't know what that was. But
Even the
something.
conversation on the C-47 that somehow you can hear everybody. So
Oh yeah. No. It's just like they're
Radios.
literally just talking like this. There's conversational, like, oh man, all right, give me back my chain. A C-47 or any fucking prop plane that you're in, especially those that are in.
sorry.
Ow.
That's pretty good.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey. That's you're gonna be doing hand signals, like
What?
yeah, you're not gonna be able to have a fucking general conversation. Like, good God, so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that
Talking about certain things, it's funny. I see a lot of things in movies when it comes to movies like this not movies like this, but movies that involve certain things that are very particular and that are in the real world. And the writer comes up with an idea. The problem is he has no idea how this thing actually works in real life. And
exactly, yeah.
and there's a quintessential example of it that involves grenades in the Thin Red Line, and then also in this, where it's like this guy came up with the idea of he's gonna have a grenade in his mouth with tape over, with modern duct tape, by the way.
Yep.
and when it gets ripped off, the pin is going to be stuck on it, and then it blows up. Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. I'm going to put that. I thought of that. It's like, there is no fucking way tape can rip a pin out of a grenade, you idiot. There's no fucking way someone can fit a grenade in
Also,
their
a Mark
mouth.
II. Yeah, I was just gonna say a Mark II is not gonna fit.
Well,
Unless
not
you're
every
like-
man is built the same way, Mike A, okay? You know.
I guess it was fortunate.
Speak for
Unless you're like
yourself.
Mia Khalifa or somebody like that that's got some actual talent.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. Stick it in your mouth.
Do it. I have a big enough mouth. I probably could get this in there. I'm not gonna.
I don't think it's gonna fit in there.
He's northeastern. He has a big enough
This
mouth.
is going to end with an
I
emergency, an
It
emergency room situation.
He's got a ring on it. He can pull that fucker out.
Do it on the pod.
Do it.
Do it on the pod.
See if you
Do
no,
it on the
seriously.
pod.
See if you can fucking fit that thing in your mouth.
No.
See, if
you know you can't.
If this were a movie,
Where's
Everyone
mine?
listening,
Hold
this
on.
is peer
Hold on.
pressure.
I'm gonna
This
hold
is
on.
what
I'm gonna
you
go get
do
mine.
when you
Hold
have
on.
to.
I don't care. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna put
Okay.
something in my mouth on the pod.
this is
There you go.
if this were a movie, this would immediately cut to the hospital where they're cutting the grenade in half while it's in your mouth, so they can remove it. Yeah,
Yeah. No. I
Yeah,
think.
there's no fucking way.
right. So
there's no fucking
that's
way.
an example of what I'm saying. It's like, okay, clearly this guy thought of this idea, but it's like, dude, if you knew anything about these things, this would never work. Like, it's
Okay.
stupid.
Start recording now.
Yeah. Okay, Nate.
Oh, easily I could fit this in my mouth.
With the spoon, no, you got to bend the spoon in before you do that.
Well, okay. Another point to add to it. It's
no,
like,
no, he had the spoon off, didn't he? Or
like,
no?
how is the spoon gonna
Oh,
fly
yes,
out if
he
it's
did.
in your
Yeah, he
mouth?
did.
Probably would
had
be
this-
against the side.
No, other way around, dipshit.
No, he had it,
Oh,
so
there you
the
go.
head was out.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
The fuse was
You're
out. I
good.
mean, yeah. See, it's like no.
Yeah. No. That's.
Oh,
that's,
what?
Yeah.
Ah, I'm a 3-inch girl. I'm not a 6-inch girl.
I can get 3/4.
my gag
I can get it
reflex.
3/4 of the way in.
Ugh.
But
But you can't get it all the way in.
Oh, that does not taste good very well, Mike.
The
Thanks.
paint.
This
Yeah,
is the
I
one. This is
mean-
the one you had your hands all over. Your hands
Oh,
have been in my
you're
mouth.
welcome.
Yeah, my hands have been over all those, and it's a lot
Yeah.
of lot of Cheetos grease and semen and
Nah, nah,
other
nah, nah.
various things. So we're one now.
We all
Pete.
got a little
Yeah.
bit of us inside each other.
You're now inside me. There you go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Context that as you will,
Yeah.
people.
I want
Yeah.
you inside of me.
But
Jesus.
other yeah. I just watched that episode too. That's so
But
fucking,
I think
it sounds like you really love Jesus. Well, don't you?
yeah.
minus
Jesus
the,
is a friend of mine. I've got a friend in Jesus.
So like actually God,
Okay,
there's no way
can-
to say this. It actually got pretty far. It's
That's
just-
great.
I'm hitting my gag.
That's great. I
reflex
don't
at
think
the end.
the fact of the M1 or sorry, not the M1, the Mark II fitting in someone's mouth is not the most egregious thing. It's the fact of duct tape being able to pull the goddamn pin out. There's
what
no
you're saying?
way.
What I did is for nothing? God.
Well, what if he loosened the pin? And it
God.
was just barely hanging on there.
I don't think you can do
Well,
it.
I
Dude.
thought we had something, Mike A. I thought we experienced something together.
No. It's not. It wasn't for nothing. It wasn't for
Yeah.
nothing. So
We proved that Nathan can shove very large things in his mouth.
When also, okay,
God,
so,
that
okay,
taste is still in my mouth.
let's
gonna be there
just
forever.
go one step further. How did the fucking fuse on the fucking TNT in that sidecar light as soon as that duct tape was removed?
I don't know.
The
Why
pin
was that
pulled.
even? Why did they even do that? If they're just gonna have it be like, if they're just gonna have the explosives go off in the sidecar, why even do the grenade thing?
So wait, hold on. So wait, I have to look at my thing. So if they pull that fuse out, there's no spoon in his mouth.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Right,
another
correct.
thing where it's like they don't.
So why wouldn't it just explode the moment he just?
It
was
would
driving?
have. It was fucked.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
it was-
It's
I just realized
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
There's no
It's-
spoon in his mouth, because then if he had
yes.
good mouth control, he could hold that spoon closed.
Here, dude. That's what I've been saying. It's like clearly this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
written by someone who knows nothing about these things. You know, it's like
I'm gonna go get something to drink.
yeah,
that
get
really
that
does taste bad.
grenade taste out
It's
of your
not.
mouth.
It's not. You probably shouldn't have.
Mine didn't
done
taste that bad.
Nate got a bad grenade.
Apparently.
You got one
It's
of
one
them.
that I probably. I was probably trying to test the whole theory of holding it between your ass cheeks, and that's probably the one he got.
You got Mike's
Whoops.
ring sting in your mouth.
That's the one we all.
Oh,
I
Well, if he
was
did that, he'd
hearing
be dead,
words
so
that I
no.
did not want to hear the moment I put my headphones on.
That's the one that we all came on. So
oh!
We all did it at once.
Limp-
Yeah, it was
Limp
like an
Bizkit
initiation.
going on?
We
Listen,
call
all-
it Icky Mark
we
II.
passed
yeah.
it around. It was in a cardboard box. We went to the back of the cave. You know, like
Snap one off.
Circle jerk
Yeah,
grenades.
you should have seen fucking Kevin's load.
Oh God.
Oh.
Well, no, this one
I
wasn't
didn't know
at
he was a
Reveille.
rope
This was
manufacturer.
Don't say I don't do something for you guys. There you go.
I did it too.
This is the nastiest episode.
barely.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but mine got deeper.
You can fucking take it, dude. You know, you just gotta work on your gag reflex.
God.
Oh,
I can hold that record.
I can shove things deeper in my mouth than you. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you know
Congrats.
that. I'm really.
Dude, that's the competitive side of me kicking in right there.
I'm gonna leave now. I just want to let you know that. Like,
They'll be knocking on your door now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah.
well, he's
He
from
can
Maryland.
swallow grenades.
What else do you need to know? He's our O specialist. You know, like.
What am I supposed to do here?
Nathan, give me your
He's
O
a good
face.
friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh.
Jesus, are you okay?
Jesus.
No, there's an fucking old movie that's a clip where he goes, then I saw her O face, and the guy just goes, oh.
That's Office Space.
Yeah, Office Space. Yeah,
Yeah,
when they're at the party.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Are you
That is
fucking?
right. That's right.
Are you okay? Like, are you? Did that? Like, is that paint like getting to you, or
I don't know.
That's when. What the fuck's the
are
boss's
you half
name?
retarded now, or like, what's going on?
How much lead was in it?
Yeah, hi.
Probably none.
Michael, what was the boss's name in fucking Office Space?
Lumberg.
Lumberg. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah,
Gonna have to cut. It's
so-
not like a half day or anything, you know.
Right.
You can
it's
just,
not a half day or
um,
anything.
You can put it all in your mouth again. That'd be great. Thanks.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Yes.
to get back onto the movie, something else that was
Yes,
wrong.
please. Let's move on from my
It was
mouth
kind of-
control.
well, hey, man, you know, you definitely don't have enough gag reflex. But the wrong color parachutes. That was something as well.
Oh yeah, were they not camouflage?
No,
Sorry,
they're
it's
white.
just we went from talking about that to like, oh, by the way, the parachutes are wrong.
Speaking of cum,
But in the
I mean, there's
in
only so
Normandy,
graceful of a transition you can get from that subject.
yes, Mike B.
So in Normandy they were camouflage.
They were all
correct?
all paratroopers for the whole war were camouflage.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
Yeah.
well, in Sicily and Italy as well.
Yeah,
And North Africa, they were all camouflage.
I believe from 42 on.
I don't think so.
I think in
They had-
North Africa and Sicily, like
They had red, yellow, and blue parachutes for ammunition, medical supplies,
cargo,
and other
yeah,
things.
yeah.
They had that as well, but I'm pretty sure it was camo for the whole war. Because you see scarves in Sicily. They
Huh,
were all cut
interesting.
from parachutes.
yeah, of course.
Africa
yeah,
might
but
be
yeah.
because it's so early. I mean, you never know, but I'm pretty sure
It's very early.
they were making that stuff early on. But no, for Normandy, 1,000% it would have been all camo, and that's for British paratroopers as well as American.
Mm-hmm.
They all had the same shoots. So
Yeah, definitely Normandy on its camouflage. I don't know about North Africa and that, but
I think it changed in the early 60s because through the 50s they had that frog skin. You could find 50s dated frog skin parachute. And that's where everyone cuts them up today. I had a chance to buy a full one a few years ago. I should have.
Should have cut it up and sold it and made more money.
Well, no, you see a lot of cool things during the war, like especially around St. Mary Glees. They would take parachute canopies and make like shelters out of them. So they have a headquarters underneath like a parachute silk. It's very
Really
cool.
stupid because silk does not keep water out.
Hey, it keeps the sun away, and it was
it's
very hot.
something, yeah.
So it's a sun shelter, yes.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I do have some. I don't think it's World War II. I think it's Korean War era parachute silk. I have a whole bunch of that.
I have a helmet
And I
cover.
got some
that's
Vietnamese. God, I almost said Vietnamese. Vietnam green stuff as well. But yeah,
the
No, okay. So one thing I do want to talk about that was good that I thought was really interesting is like when our main character, one of our main characters, Boyce, like drops into a fucking pond, and he's weighed down, and he's like trying his hardest. He goes, fuck, grabs his M3 and like starts cutting his shit off, trying to undo his stuff, and like gets up, but he's underneath his parachute, and then he like just cuts through the parachute. I thought that scene was actually quite well done. Because there's a lot of things you read about that of guys landing in like ponds and bodies of water, and they were like drowning, just like the guys like that landed on the beaches were drowning if they fell off the side of the boat or jumped off with all their gear and shit. It's like, yeah, that guy is gonna be like, okay, I have to stay calm, but I'm panicking and I have to get all this shit off, and he does it in a way that he gets up just in the nick of time before he starts drowning. And I thought that was a really kind of tense and well done series of scenes. I thought that was really cool.
I say that was a thing that the Germans did in Normandy a lot, and that's why when you read about D-Day and you read about the causeways, how important they were, because there were only 3 or 4 inlets from the sea inland because the Germans flooded all the fields, all the very low-lying areas. So that was a very big problem. I'm not sure the exact number, but I think well over 100 paratroopers drowned on D-Day because they landed in these fucking marshy areas.
And they were just bogged down by all their shit.
The longest day touches on that a little bit. There's like a guy that lands in like fucking up to his knees in water and he's fighting and he dies. And then there's the Padre. I can't find my communion set. And he's like fucking dunking the whole time, for it. But yeah, no, that was an interesting scene. I just think they did it in Saving Private Ryan where they stole that idea from for the whole beach landing.
Oh, of course. Nothing's original in this film.
Yeah.
Well,
but it was cool, like how it was rebirthed when he cut it open. It was like,
I was gonna say like, and the one thing I'll chime in,
and then Michael,
this is. I can't believe I'm gonna admit this. I very, very, very like early teenagerhood. I like was getting the fat bod, so I started wearing t-shirts in the pool kind of shit, and growing out, and then I sprouted and blew all that weight off. But at the time I was like putting shirts, and I stupidly was trying to take off my shirt underwater and got stuck halfway. And when I rose to the top, it was a white t-shirt. This is why I say this. Walked to the top of the water, and it's like I couldn't undo it. It was over my face, and I like waterboarded myself almost, like trying to get out of the water, and I couldn't. And when I saw that in that scene, that scene always reminds me of that moment where I started to panic the fuck out because I couldn't breathe.
Sorry.
I was waterboarding. No, it's fine, dude. I expect you to laugh. That's why I'm fucking telling you.
No, I just imagine like someone happens upon the pool and there's just a body floating in the water with a shirt over its head.
with a shirt like this with his arms tangled over his head.
Well, it was like, ruled a suicide. Ruled a suicide.
Yeah. So like it's stupid, and I panicked for like a good 3 seconds, and then was like, just go back underwater, idiot, and then take it off. And I did, but it was like, I can only imagine that on the extreme scale. I'm not saying me almost drowning in my own t-shirts equivalent to a guy landing on Normandy, not at all. But that prospect and that panic of not being able to, you've broached the water, but you're still drowning because of you can't get.
When luckily he had his M3
stuff
in his hand. And he was able to just slice open just something, and then get some air, and then get the fuck out of there. But like, that was a pretty. I think it was a pretty well done scene. I really do.
I agree. No, I so do.
So because it was like panic inducing, because you're like, oh shit, and I was counting. I'm like, I think he got to like 40 something seconds. I'm like, that's a long time to hold your breath, especially when your like heart rate is up and everything like that. Like, it's a very long time to hold your breath. And know to cut what gear off, and then unbuckle, get the fuck out. And then he goes ashore with like no gear. He doesn't have a weapon. He doesn't have his helmet. He ditched that, rightfully so. But it's like, so this guy's got no gear. And yeah, it's just like fucking insane. And like, there was, like Brian said, there was, the known ones that drowned in Normandy from having that same situation going on. The paratroopers, I mean. How many guys like struggled like this during that whole operation? Like, it's like, fuck, don't land in a fucking pond, don't land on top of a fucking building. Don't land in a tree 75 feet up. And then, okay, cut yourself down. But how do you drop? You're fucked.
That's why you have a letdown rope, but not everyone had those. So
no, exactly. That's what I'm saying is like, also, how do you fucking use that? Like, effectively, like, throw it up over the branch, maybe, if you have a branch. Like, yeah. It's just panic. And so, yeah, it's insane. Mm-hmm. So, moving to IMFDB.
It's time. Before I forget, they'll probably comment on it. That mine would have killed everyone. In the beginning.
Well, what kind of mime was that?
One that would have killed all of them. Like, it was such a huge explosion, they all got thrown away. It wasn't an S mine. It was like a Tellermine blast.
Yeah, but would that have been set off by infantry, like a person?
Unless fucking,
Exactly,
it's my 700-pound life in front of you. Like, there's no
Right.
way. Yeah, we put him in a wheelbarrow and blew up. Like, fucking.
Well, he's got his mountain tabs, so yeah, he's qualified.
Yeah,
Look,
comes in
all I'm
handy in
saying,
France.
all I'm saying, there's enough airborne reenactors in this world that could probably have set that off. So
Yeah, I've been, Nathan,
that's
I've been to
reactors.
Conneaut. I know what you're talking about, okay? Like,
I've been to Gap.
But no,
Yeah.
so realistically, I think they were trying
bouquet
to
boomer.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to like kind of get across the point of like a bouncing Betty, right? Mm-hmm. And that would have taken out a couple of them as close as they were. Like that's another thing. Again, I'm not going to get into the fucking tactics for this movie because it's like it's not a realistic fucking movie at all. It's not made to be. Their gear was overall okay.
Nothing egregious.
I like the rigger pouches. I really did like the rigger pouches. Instead of like the cartridge belts, I did like that touch that they had on there because like those rigger pouches were made for M1 carbines, M1 rifles, fucking O3s, fucking BARs, everything, and they actually had them in this film, so I did like that.
But not made for the 506. I know the 505th used them a lot, and I forget the
Yeah.
other ones, but yeah. But it was cool to see.
It was whatever the guys get their fucking hands on, but like yeah, the 506 generally was using. Yeah.
Again, it's not really worth mentioning because who gives a fuck? But every single guy in this movie is,
I give a fuck. Oh, that that whole low ready shit.
going
It's
around,
like
like just carrying their guns, like especially like Wyatt. Wyatt Russell is with his Thompson. He just like looks like he's handling an M4.
The talking, too.
and it's like
Of
What?
all the things though to handle like an M4, Thompson is more forgivable than a fucking M1.
yeah, but he was doing like the stock up like fucking by
The
his
sling
head. It's
over
like,
his
yeah,
arm, too.
yeah.
That was like,
All the German
Yeah.
extras with Sturmgewehrs, the same thing.
Also,
But they had them.
Sturmgewehr's
But they had them.
in Normandy.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
not
17th
a
SS.
lot.
Yeah.
though.
Yep.
yeah. I
Okay.
would say there was some.
There was
The Buzz Rickson guns. That's what they were nicknamed.
Should
Yes.
there be more MP40s than STG 44s? Yes, but I will say this:
There should have
the
been more
only-
K98s.
Well, hold on. The doctrine for handing out those STG 44s was to fill. The goal was to try to
Platoon
fill whole
element
squads
sizes.
or platoons or squad-like elements with those weapons. So that would be
Post
if there was-
invasion though.
The whole
No.
time.
When they had units coming from the Eastern Front and the Mediterranean Front, like Italy and shit, that's when they start, which was only a couple weeks. That's when you start really seeing them. On June 6th, from what I've researched and what I've encountered, there's not going to be as much as they.
I will just say my research differs from your research. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna dick measure you.
No, it
on
doesn't-
I-
doesn't
that's
matter,
fine.
like, yeah,
it's not a
it's-
thing to
it's-
go down.
One day,
on.
maybe if you have one, Nathan, you'll know what you're talking about.
I'm
but-
just gonna.
Oh!
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say, if we're talking about that, like when talking about Sturmgewehrs, yes or no, it's like okay, well let's go one even further. No, there wouldn't be any SS in the American landing areas. Like that's another thing.
Until the night of the 11th when the 17th showed up. Yeah. No,
right,
the
but yeah, like
17th
on D-Day, you're not gonna get SS full bore SS units.
Yeah,
Patrolling the areas.
that's my point
Right.
exactly. Is like on June 6th, to find that much concentration of SCG 44s within one SS unit that probably wasn't there even at the time. Even with an army unit
Yeah, but
on the 6th.
right.
Now, give it a couple weeks or even a week. Okay, yeah. But on that night, that was my point.
Yes.
Nate. It wasn't
Okay.
like
That's
that
what
was my point. Is like
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I can agree with you on that. That's fine.
so that's what I'm saying about like it's like yeah, there's probably a couple there. Obviously, like they were fucking out and about at that point, but until they started pulling guys immediately on the 7th from the Eastern Front and all that shit.
Realistically, with an SS unit, you probably would have seen more Beretta 38s, non-German regulated army. Like we've talked about before, how the
Yeah.
SS had trouble getting
MB-34s
weapons
as
de-
well.
Yeah, like weapons designated for the Wehrmacht and all that stuff, and so it's like they had a hard time getting those kind of weapons. Now near the end of the war, they didn't really. They were grabbed. There's so many to pull from. They just were. But I'm saying like, I guess if you wanted to be technical quotation marks, I guess Beretta 38s,
MP34s.
MP34s, Czech LMGs, so 20 ZB26s.
Yep.
Polish. What's that fucking gun you made me research, Mike? A Polish
WZ30.
WZ30, yeah.
And there was one more, that one you found on the wall.
Mac 31.
Was that it?
French Mac 31, or is it
The one that took me like 2 hours, and I sent it one picture to Brian, and he found it in 2 minutes. Whatever.
That was a
the fuck.
WZ30. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure. No,
Was it?
ZS39. That was that fucking Russian
Yes,
machine gun that
one,
was
yes,
very
yeah,
rare.
That weird ass.
Very
one,
cool
yeah.
fluted barrel.
Yeah, because I thought it. Yeah, because it was the fluid barrel that was driving me nuts.
Yes, that was my whole point. Is like the Sturmgewehr is going to show up a week to two after the actual
But
landing.
yeah,
like the
and
invasion,
that's the
so.
thing. It's like I get it though. It's like it's World War II porn. They want to show the coolest things. They want to have.
Oh
the
yeah,
SS
absolutely.
and,
They want to show that, and then people like using them because they captured them. Yeah, I get it. It's a cool looking gun.
At the end of the day, there was only one supplier of MP40s and MP44s, or whatever delineation you want to say, to the SS, and that was BNZ. Because BNZ, the leader of BNZ, had a very good relationship with Heinrich Himmler. So that was the only way they got these guns. Now, BNZ also was the largest manufacturer of these firearms. But of the however many companies produced them, only BNZ ones went to the SS. So they only had one company supplying this stuff. So
let's get this rolling.
Yep.
How what? You don't like nerd talk?
No,
You
I
don't
do.
like
I'm just
nerd
saying
talk?
let's do it while we're doing it. Let's nerd out while we're doing this.
So,
Gotta have that.
1911s.
Never seen that before in a movie.
No, that's a weird one.
Never.
Never heard that joke before.
Pew, pew.
No. We have seen this. This is the Browning High Power. That's what it is.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Hardy fucking har.
Bring it back. Bringing it back.
Walter P38.
P38s.
I'm glad he had a P38 instead of a fucking Luger. Just let's throw
That's
that out.
true.
there.
Yeah, you
It's
think
nice to
that-
see.
Wait, hold on. What's a Luger? I don't know what that is.
P08. Pistola
I-
Model 1908. Fuck
I
you.
still don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
Go fuck yourself. And then the PPK, also actually very common. So
Especially
yeah.
with fucks like this, someone that
Yep,
had to have a gun
exactly.
but didn't want to carry a heavy one. So
Yep, exactly. And I actually like that touch. That was a good detail as well.
Again, there are good details within this movie. Just it's this movie.
A lot of like blatant details, not
Right.
good. But yeah, they
I love how in every
okay.
It's that stuff that makes us. It's that stuff that gives us that we want to do a tap on the shoulder.
And the
You know, it's
M1
that kind of
Thompson
detail.
had 20 round mags, which I really appreciated.
Mike A.
It's
got-
just funny
I know,
that in like stereotypically every World War II thing, you gotta have like the big badass always has the Thompson, and it's like in this there's no
the
exception.
heaviest, clunkiest one.
Yeah, like the ultimate badass like character always has the Thompson rather than like an M1 carbine or something.
But he actually did run out of ammo and had to reload many times, which I appreciated.
Yep.
Because he was using the 20 rounders, which is also fucking accurate.
Nate, can you
Like,
click on that photo? Is there a crossbolt or not? 'Cause that's the real delineation. Because usually get the rear sight right, but they don't get the stock
I
right.
gotta get this thing to fucking.
There you go.
Oh no, it's right. Yep. No crossbolt.
Yeah, he
Crossbolts
yeah,
are A1s.
No, yeah, he's got no sight protector.
Well, the crossbolt.
Yeah, on the stock right there.
Well, no, that, but also he doesn't have the
yeah.
there's no sight protector. There's no fins.
That
Yeah, it's an
cover the
M1.
sights.
Yeah.
the L sight is the delineation for an M1, but also the crossbolt through the rear stock. Because the crossbolt was an M1A1 thing you don't see until very late in the war.
No, so I did like that touch. That was a fucking. I actually noticed that too because you taught me that when we were doing Reveille. And I was like, hey, he has an actual M1 Thompson, which is fucking insanely accurate. Like
Full
yes.
autoed.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of the 28s were also cross-bolted after the war, so you have to be careful. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
but
really stupid
this
shit.
one was good. I liked
Oh, it looked
that.
great, yeah.
The MP40s
Minus the way he's carrying it.
The MP40s seemed way too fast to me. Like the rate of
Yeah,
fire.
the fire rate was not good
Yeah.
on these.
It was almost like a 41.
It was like
almost.
Well, it was
Not a burp gun.
yeah, not a burp gun.
it should be like
Yep. That was like double the rate of fire.
The STG 44s were really good.
Yeah, they sounded
And
right.
they
Firing
were
rate.
yeah,
The
they
firing
were,
rate.
Yep.
They were spot on.
They were really good. So the M1 rifle, yep, the M1. Yeah.
I like how because they've watched, a lot of documentaries for this, they refer to every MG42 as a buzzsaw.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Which is actually not that inaccurate.
Did you know they're on Omaha Beach?
So,
Yeah, a lot of them.
Nathaniel?
so many. Okay, this part
Whoa.
sucks because
Whoa.
See, I knew that
Heinrich
was gonna hurt
Civil.
you.
WN62. Bloody Omaha.
Oh my god, dude. Both of you fucks.
so this part he would have probably had a fucking
The ramp
folding
came down.
stock.
Yeah, how come he didn't have the M1A1? I guess because they couldn't get one, but whatever.
Which is
Maybe,
they're very
but, like-
easy to get, which is funny. Like, you can buy a stock
But also,
anywhere.
I have seen and heard of and I've read of things like where guys couldn't get the M1A1, so they would jump with a fucking
That's true.
full stock. But it's not for paratroopers. It's not as common because they were prioritized. Obviously, the M1A1
Yeah.
to them.
There's a
So,
there's a
we'll
very
see.
very curious photo taken on D-Day on Omaha Beach of a guy with an M1A1 carbine.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
That's a very
Yeah.
disputed
Very
photo.
weird. People are like,
But-
what the hell?
There's even a more random one that's very famous. There's a photo of a British paratrooper on the Oosterbeek perimeter in the early 20s of September of 44 with an M1 carbine infantry set up stock, literally right there,
Oh yeah,
protecting his side. And no way he would have got that drop to him. No way would he get ammunition for it. He brought that
So he
with
jumped
him
with it.
from England.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably in a
Yeah, he
glider or
jumped with it.
something.
Yep.
But it's crazy. It's like a Brit with a standard M1 carbine at Arnhem. Why?
Very strange.
What the fuck? But it's an assault rifle. It's a great gun, if you use it right. So I can see
I
why
love the
someone
M1
would.
carbine.
Oh, I
It's one
could
of my
shoot it
favorites.
all day. I love them.
Yeah.
They're fucking awesome.
15 rounds on a blink of an eye, And then you got another 15 ready to go.
And then you fucking pay $30 for a whole mag that you shoot because it costs that much
Well,
now.
that's
but-
the-
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
if you didn't stock up beforehand, yeah, but
That's the next gun I want to buy. Was one of those.
I just made
They're-
Sean
they're
do it.
awesome.
Do it now because if you don't, it's just
I
only
can't
gonna
do
go
it
higher.
now, dude. Not right now.
It's awful.
You can
dude.
get a good
It's
project for
awful.
about 1,000 today.
Yeah. You could probably build one from scratch.
Okay.
12 to 15.
And yeah, I mean, because I think right now their market pricing, if you're lucky, between 16 to 18 and higher.
Okay.
for correct configurations. The pointers.
Yeah, for a
Stupid,
correct
but, yeah.
World War II configuration.
K98. Yep.
Loves their string.
Car
Yeah,
98.
Yeah.
I would have actually liked to see more of these.
There was
in this
only
film.
one scene of it,
Yep.
which was this
I don't
scene
even
alone,
remember
like,
them being shot or anything. So.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
saw
And that. Yeah.
Random, but I saw a great photo today pop up on Facebook from 1947, and it's this guy in Pennsylvania. He shot his first buck of the season, like probably 8 or 10 pointer, and he's smiling, looking at the camera. He's got a perfect K98 on it with its safety on, and it's like that's a World War II vet.
That
That's
was a
using his
bring
trophy
back,
rifle.
yeah.
Yeah, just shooting
Well,
a fucking,
yeah.
and it's
A lot
just
of them
so.
use Type 99s. They use
Oh yeah,
fucking.
but it was
yeah,
just really,
amazing, yeah.
it was really cool to see that, and it's like fucking
Yep.
guy in plaid with like a fucking 30s Ford, like middle rural Pennsylvania with a pristine
Yep.
his bring back, and it's like that's just cool. So.
You know, it's all matching too. You know that.
Oh yeah,
it's like
you fucking
yeah, it's fucking.
and unfortunately, his son cut it up to make it into something to make it into a Model 70 he couldn't
Oh,
afford.
God.
But it was just really cool to see that, like a guy having pride with his bring home.
Right.
So
So the SCG 44. We already talked about this in depth.
Yeah.
the Buzz Rickson gun.
Yep. People love them.
Yeah, I mean, just not, in my opinion, very accurate for this day and this place.
But very impressive to see on film, as many as you see on film.
Yeah. Oh, it is definitely.
Let's at least give that credit, because that's
Oh, I
something you don't
definitely
see
will,
that much.
yeah.
You normally see just one,
Yeah.
and it's
The most I've
know,
ever
and they're
seen
bad.
in a movie is Downfall. That's the most I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
And the fact that this chick.
oh,
could
what movie's
fucking
that? I
hoof-
don't know that movie.
Yeah, Downfall.
If that was a legit answer, I would kill you.
Oh, it's really cool. So it's about Hitler's secretary, okay? And it starts with the interview in 1942.
Just watch the
So
movie.
Chloe carrying this fucking MP or the Sturmgewehr 44.
Yeah.
That's impressive because those things are fucking heavy.
Right.
Especially that
Even for
angle.
me-
all the weight's
Yeah.
down.
That's a
She's
terrible
got the
way to
grenades,
angle
and
it.
then
Yeah.
she's just trying to hoof shit.
With her
It's like
finger on the
that-
trigger. Yep.
and she's got extra magazines that she threw to. Yeah, so like
Looks like
It-
it's behind the trigger, but yeah, it's weird.
it's a heavy fucking
Yeah.
weapon. Like it's.
It might be a prop that she's gripping with all her might because how heavy it is, and she's pulling the trigger as she tries to keep it up. You know what
She's
I
got
mean?
her finger
Like-
behind the trigger.
It looks like behind
Yeah, I
the
think
trigger.
it
okay,
is after-
but I
behind
think
the trigger.
but I think that's what it is
Yeah.
though. It's she's trying to use all her
Yeah, because
Mike-
they're
Mike-
fucking heavy.
Mike B, have you ever held one? Have you ever seen one?
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever fired one?
Nope.
Okay. They're really interesting. Really
yeah, I can
interesting to
imagine.
fire.
Yeah, I've held
Yeah.
a real one, but like, yeah, I just never was.
I love the way they sound when you rack them. They're so clunky. Like it's just
It's
yeah.
it's that tilting bolt.
Well, also it's a
design.
huge chunk of metal going through even a bigger piece of stamped hollow steel. Like it's just this very.
It's like
you
an
know, just-
acoustic, cock.
Yeah.
Have you ever racked a G3?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, they slap and everything. Yeah.
Is it?
It's similar. It's got
Similar?
a yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I hate the G3 though, because it's got such a crazy recoil. That block is way too heavy. That whole bolt carrier.
It does, but also I've grown to
It's
love the
huge.
fucking G3. Anyway,
Well,
going down.
You can
the
have it, and I'll have
L3A4.
my FAL. So
Well, I have both, and I used to prefer the FAL, but for reliability in the cold, I have grown to love the G3.
that is a contender where you are. So
And I've grown to love G3. But yeah, so the O3A4, we've already talked about that. He's holding it. He's holding it really fucking weird, and he's not
fucking
working.
push ya, you know.
I'm the pusher. Oh, you're the BAR.
yep.
The 34s were
that.
done. Yeah, the 34s, in my opinion, were done very well for the fire rate. The tracers, not great, but the actual fire rate and everything, and like the kind of recoil and handling.
This ambush right here was really good.
Yep, I
Really
agree.
well done in terms of watching the impacts. The fire rate's a little slow, just a little. It's more like a 30, but it's like in between a 30 and a real 34. But I loved the way it was implemented because you see LMG ambushes like that just go so horribly bad in movies and everything.
Yeah.
And you guys always complain about it. Look, they got dummies on the load.
Cosmetic
They
rounds.
did,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cosmetic
They did.
rounds, yeah.
And but it's a good thing that also like it wasn't just like this. Everybody dropped at once. It was like he had to actually aim, and you'd see him go from left to right on the fucking target. Yeah, I like that. So
Yeah.
anyway, the Mark II,
Here's
it's
that
Mark II A1, but yeah.
I sent you that.
Mark
I sent
II.
you that image. That's your thumbnail right there.
Yeah, with
mean,
the fucking.
If
yeah.
I go get a soda, I'll try it again. I just can't get it that deep in my mouth. That's what she said.
I like how you said that's what she said before you even finished. You like
that
you
must have been a
couldn't wait
fucking
to get that
foam
out.
prop or something.
No, no, Mike. I'll tell you what they did. They took a
Yeah, they
prop
cut it in
and they
half.
cut it in
They
half,
cut it in half. Yeah.
so that he could go because he could
Yep.
move it around
The
and
way
do that.
that-
Otherwise,
The
he'd
way
be like
he has it, well, Michael.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what they did because again, when they got on set, they said this can't work with the real thing. Like he can't. The actor said, I can't fit this fucking thing in my mouth, dude.
look at that plastic.
Yeah.
It's also post war.
That's not plastic. That's just a modern fucking metal fuse with a or a metal. It's one of the modern fuses that cannot be made at all.
Because the spoon, Mikey, you're correct on that assumption. They thought the spoon was just
Well, that's what I.
the active. What was like the pin,
Right.
and the pin is the spoon.
That's why I say
Right.
this is a
Yeah.
quintessential example of someone coming up with an idea but not knowing anything about the stuff surrounding it. You know.
Also,
Yeah,
his
'cause-
rank pip is not squared up, and that's not correct. So
Fucking
Why wasn't
nerd.
that the poster right there?
I can make it the
Make
poster.
it the poster,
Do you
yeah.
want me-
Overlord,
Yeah.
where we eat grenades. So fucking stupid. So stupid.
that was so fucking retarded.
Yeah.
The 1924.
Gotta have them
yeah.
potato mashers.
Hey, Brian, but look at the handle. They actually got it. That's a pretty good repro.
Yeah, the top isn't good, but the bottom is good.
No, but like the handle itself is good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's the right color. It's not lacquered.
And it's
which is
also
nice.
like it's tapered off where it needs to be. It's not like super long on the top. So-
yeah.
But yeah,
I've seen a lot worse.
the Flammenwerfer.
Yep.
Yes.
It werfs Flammen.
You see the fucking blue flame on the tip? It's a propane mock-up.
Oh,
Yeah.
for dude, flamethrowers.
Yeah, right
that's
there.
like- in movies, they always do this because they have
It's a
to.
propane gun.
Real
yeah.
flamethrowers, they throw like jelly gas.
Yeah, napalm basically.
and so it's
terrifying.
it's fucking disgusting.
yeah,
It's not just like they're shooting fire. It's like no, we're throwing a liquid onto you.
Yeah.
That's burning,
not good.
and you can't get it off of you.
Yeah, they've never gotten it right in a movie. So yeah, this is no exception.
So, all right, yeah, we got I'm FDB done.
Yep.
You want to move into final thoughts? Wrap this fucking thing up.
I think it's time for final thoughts. Yes.
Yep.
Who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first, Brian?
Sure. So, yeah, I think we've talked about a lot of things in this film. Please don't judge a book by its cover. This is one that's definitely worth watching. Especially this time of year, there's not a lot of war films that are horror films, and this one has the most amount of money ever thrown at that type of idea for a film. And it's got points that really show well. It's well made for what it is, and it's worth a watch. It's great for what it is, and I wish it was more original in some ways. Obviously, it's just like, okay, sit down. I got an idea. Wolfenstein, but D-Day and Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
And a little bit of SPR in here.
it's very much
you know.
a template when it comes to
Holy fucking shit! That's a big budget.
I had a
What was the
significant
budget?
38 million.
Woo!
that's the thing. It's like a
God
huge
damn.
budget.
It grossed only 41 million.
Oh, yeah.
But hey,
They
it's
made
a
a
win.
profit.
It's a win.
Yep. Well, that was, the J J Abrams was behind the project, and it was, I think, just happened at a time in his career where they're like, sure, why not? We'll throw you a ton of money. And in some ways, it's awesome. In other ways, it's a little annoying, but overall, it's a good film. Just get through the first 10 minutes, and I assure you that you'll find something that you like. So, that being said, I am going to give this a 7.3 out of 10. For what it is, I think it's a really good horror war film. And comparing to the other ones, this is probably the best one out there. So I pass the talking pillow to Michael.
Yeah, so yes, in terms of I was actually thinking about it when we decided to do this. I was like, what is the very first alternate history, like sci-fi slash, war, like World War II thing? I think it might be Raiders of the Lost Ark when it comes to this sort of thing. But yeah, so in terms of that sort of thing, I know it's something to think about, right? I guess you could
10 out of 10, by the way.
so, yeah,
We
don't
12.
I can watch that one any day, like most people my
Yeah,
age.
any
I
day.
gotta get my cousin on here to try to get him to talk about when he was on production.
Right, but I think that's right.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the first of this sort of kind of weird genre where it's like World War II fantasy kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, not the worst I've seen when it comes to that, but I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like they came up with this idea, but then it's just like there's this very predictable template that's over it. It's like you got to have all these things. Like you got to have the badass chick. You got to have, the mad scientist. You got to have, and it's just like it all kind of adds up to something that's not very interesting in my opinion. Where it's like the super soldier. It's like Wolfenstein's already done that. So. I think I'm just going to give it a 5 because it's like, it's for what it is well done. Like it looks really good. You can tell as Nate just said, wow, the budget for this was huge. You can tell. But not bad, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. So I'm just going to give it a 5. So I'm going to pass it off to Mr. B.
Yep, agreed. Again, like we've all said, if you're listening, get through the first few minutes. I did it. You can do it too. This wasn't like one of those where, again, I didn't message any one of you fuckers today.
I told Michael, I was like, Mike B hasn't sent me a message yet, so it must not be too bad.
I know, I was a little
It was just
surprised. I
like,
was expecting
fuck.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I can't do this at the beginning, but I'm like, okay, but it's not a serious film. It's not trying to portray history correctly, so whatever. But they actually did a better, ironically, they did a better job of portraying like the uniforms and the gear and shit than most actual serious films do, which is funny.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, and it's very, very interesting. Obviously, I could pick apart the technical flaws all day with the uniforms and all that shit, and the helmet nets especially, like not the correct ones, but like
They should be brown.
correct. And anyway, shit like that. But it's like, who gives a fuck? It's a fucking fun film. It gets retarded, which I like. It gets retarded in the best possible way.
But it owns it, so.
That's what I mean. Like the best possible way. It's like it's believable in that realm. And so if you go into it and you're not expecting a serious like portrayal of history, it's entertaining as shit. And for that, I can give up all the fucking things that it didn't get right historically, blah blah blah. We bitched about a couple of those things. Who gives a fuck? So yeah, I'm also like, my score in my head is a 4.8. I would say if you have the time, and around Halloween especially, if you have the time to watch it, it's not a total fucking waste of time. It's about a 3/4 waste of time. But it's like, there's some redeeming qualities, and it's entertaining. That's the thing. It entertains you. And that's what it's supposed to do. And you can see the budget, but there's just so much shit, whatever, like, I can't get past. But it was kind of funny, actually, to me. This whole thing. Like,
it was funny to me, too.
It's entertaining. 4.8 out of 10. Nathaniel.
Oh, no. The Hulk is about to emerge.
That totally was not ready for that. I don't know why.
It's because he said it so casually.
I should have just fucking accepted my fate.
I've called you that in person and you did nothing, so I'm free to say it right here.
I don't know why it bothers me. Probably because I turn off my brain when you say it to me in person, but here it's like it's a fucking Xbox nerd rage where you're like you're telling me you want to fuck my mom, and I'm like, well, yeah,
but again,
I
said it to you in person. I had the balls to say it to you, expecting to get punched.
Right, and
in the cock.
Probably because I was working. That might be what it is.
Well,
okay,
fair.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, like, to kind of point, to hit all the points all around. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, this is a film that is obviously not on the same pedestal as the rest of ours. You know, same like with Death Watch. It's on that same pedestal. So, you know, for me, I remember when we did Death Watch, I held it in pretty high regard. You know, there are some tropey things to it. And the reason why I lead into this is that, you know, Mike A had said at the very end, like, you know, I can predict it. I can do all this stuff. I understand what's going to happen. Most fucking horror movies are like that. I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying, like, just in general, it's like most horror films you can read on the fucking back of your hand.
Hence why I'm not a horror fan.
You know, right? Probably the same with me. Well, I'm also a big fucking bitch baby, but you know, it's besides the point.
I'm not that.
So glad you defended yourself there.
I'm not that.
So like I going into it at that point, it's like, you know, I don't hold this at the same kind of, you know, level of detail scrutiny that I normally do. I also have a big kind of soft spot for this movie in general. I think the cinematography is really well done, the editing is really well done, the sound effects are really well done, and the gunplay, although it might be, you know, tactical bullshit, it's still really well done considering all the other movies we've ever watched that doesn't do it right. Physics seems to be something that kind of in the world of Nazi zombies, physics kind of plays in this movie a little bit, which I like and I appreciate. But, you know, the guy can't deep throat an MK2. So, I mean, like, I don't know, you know, what to give it at that point. But, no, I mean, like, I thoroughly enjoy this movie. And I think going to Mike B's comment about it, it's entertaining. It's very entertaining. I can sit down and I can watch this and I know that I'm going to be entertained. And I've seen it multiple times and I still am very entertained every time. And I will say that, and I'm just probably because more of a fanboy than anything else, I can't remember his name because he's Dutch and he's got a lot of fucking vowels in his name. But the guy who plays the baddie, he does a wonderful job with any acting job he does. So
he's Danish.
What did I say? Dutch?
Yep.
One of the D's.
I meant to say Danish. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
offended your
wanted to
people.
make. Yeah, I was gonna say Mike A would have gotten viscerally angry.
people?
No, Nate's people. He loves the Danes.
I love the Danes.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm
Not
keeping
good.
that in. That was too impressive not to.
That's
Anyway.
the only way to respond to loving
I
the
just
Danes.
about threw up.
Dude, Nate, edit it when I say, all right, Mike, what do you think? Just put that in there.
Yeah, I'll just do that. Yeah.
I think I vomited. Then I got sick out of both ends.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, to wrap it all up, because I could go on about all the little detail mores, but to wrap it up, I think I'm going to give it the highest out of everyone tonight. I'm going to follow the Mike B rules of giving it weird decimals, 7.8 out of 10 Screaming Mel Gibsons.
All right.
it deserves that high of a rank. I would give it an 8, but there's just some things that didn't age well this time watching it, just in terms of cinema stuff and tropes and things. But again, it's a fucking World War II horror film, fantasy, Nazi zombies. If you want to watch it, it's probably the best movie for that. And I don't give a fuck what Brian says, because he's going to say Dead Snow is the best, and he's wrong. But
He's wrong.
yeah, that's a different genre. That's World War
retard.
II.
That's like,
Well, it's not even a World War II horror. It's not even a World War II horror film at that point.
it's a comedy, is what it is.
It's a horror film. It's just not a World War II horror film. Anyway, I digress. No, I thoroughly enjoy it every time I watch it, and I think it's worth a watch. I think it's worth a watch at least once. And it's definitely, of the up there of that. And also, just to give a shout out, everyone should watch Death Watch too. If you're trying to find war themed Halloween movies, definitely give Death Watch a watch. And go listen to our pod about that too.
Silver Shamrock endorsed.
Silver Shamrock.
I can't put it in because of copyright, but yes,
Oh.
there you go. Yes. So yeah.
And First Blood made it
but-
through?
Well, First Blood's a short, so it doesn't matter if that gets pegged.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Plus, your singing's gonna mask most of that, so it's
That's
fine.
true, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian.
So putting the scores into the computer that will tell us if there actually was a Nazi lab underneath that radio tower beacon, we get a score of 6.2 out of 10. So it's worth a
Not
watch.
bad.
Is that the radio tower Wade dies on, or no?
But
My liver! It's my liver!
no, it's a good movie. It's definitely worth a watch, and yeah, it's especially this time of year. There's really no reason not to watch it if you want to watch a horror film, but you want to watch something also military, and it's October.
Well, I'll just say this really quick. So my wife, I went out there and I was like, yeah, it was just a fucking World War II, kind of horror film zombie movie. She's like, well, I totally would have watched that with you. And she never says that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it would be fun.
I wanted
Yeah.
to say that too. This is a great film if you have a spouse that's super into horror, and you want to
Well,
watch
she's
something
not,
to
but
bridge the
she's
gap.
like, yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of Gone
It's
Girl,
not
that
like
kind
a,
of
it's
shit
not like
today.
a scary fucking movie, It's not like a fucking actual again we were talking about our earlier we were talking about what is actually scary for horror films. This is not one of those. It's entertaining as fuck. So
More bombastic. Yeah.
And I do have to say this because someone said this, but Dead Snow is very entertaining for what it is.
Yes.
It's a stupid movie, yes, but for what it is, that fucking mini chainsaw scene is so funny. Fucking, I don't care who you are, but just had to address that. Anyway, it's a good movie. It falls into the 4-7. Definitely watch it range. Tuesday matinee or Thursday matinee, or this time of year it can even be a weekend movie.
again, if you got time, go for it.
Look, I stuck a grenade in my mouth for this movie review, so someone should.
And
you
we
should
had to
definitely
watch
just go
that.
it.
You didn't. We took that bullet
Saw
for
that,
you.
Yeah.
Imagine. So let's just paint this for everyone that can't see this. You know the movie Shrek? That's what Nathan looks like. So imagine if Shrek decided to put a pineapple grenade in his mouth.
Well, at least his fucking beard's trimmed this week.
Donkey.
Donkey! That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
And by the way, I'm also wearing a Old Bay hat and a Baltimore Oil shirt. So there you go. If you want to paint the picture.
And he's wearing no pants. So there
Well,
you
you
go.
were just bitching to me about Baltimore last week.
Yeah, that's the worst place in the world. But anyway, happy
I'll
Halloween.
keep it in. Baltimore fucking sucks.
It is
Are you
fucking
kidding me?
Stab City. But thank you for your time. Happy Halloween. Happy spooky season. For those that love this season, sorry it's coming to an end, but next year's right around the corner. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
Mike B, I still taste you in my mouth, man. I don't like it.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a rating. Otherwise, Mel Gibson won't stop screaming. If you like this content, make sure to check out our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram pages. If you want to directly support our work, make sure to check out our Patreon. All these links are in the description below. Until the next time, Scuttlebutt out.